So side 1, park or street, and let's try that again.
Yeah, it's very similar to Zombie 15.
They don't need that detail.
They don't need that detail, yes.
Just say it's set up similar to Zombie 15.
I would have been saying each of the tiles is double-sided.
The tiles are 3mm thick. Linen finish. Matte.
I thought there was a thematic disconnect with this lack of a dropped curb here. Clearly someone lives here and they will need that.
Welcome to The Missing Geek. I'm Dave.
I'm Anthony.
I'm Nick.
I'm Rob.
Today we'll be playing Ghostbusters by Cryptozoic Entertainments.
It plays 1 to 4 players, takes about 60 minutes.
Let's get on with the unboxing. So let's do a classic unboxing. Let's get this lid off. There's the lid, let's get rid of that. Rule book. Lots and lots of pictures from the cartoon, very cool. Tiles, lots and lots of tiles in here. What's this, Nick?
It's the PK meter for movement, random movement.
What's this, Nick?
I need Ecto 1.
We're going to play this game now. What's in here? What's in here? Get all these tiles out,
Name
come
that
on.
component.
These are all the scenario cards and the character cards.
Yep, and now we've got a big box.
It says hobby on it in case you forgot what you're doing.
How do we open the box, Nick?
Help.
It's full of miniatures.
Now, if we were Alan, we'd tip this all over the table. Right, we're going to try and explain the rules as quickly as we can. So first thing you need to do is get yourself a campaign card. If you're playing through a whole campaign, you're going to need four missions?
Four missions.
4 campaigns. But today we're going to be playing the first one. It's called the Slimer Situation. So for campaign 1, we turn it over, and on the back of it, we've got the street setup. So there's streets sides to the tiles and park sides to the tiles. As you can see here, we've already set it all up, so we'll see what all these parts do as we play the game. Each player will choose one of the Ghostbusters as their character. If you're playing with less than 4 players, then you have to just take multiples each person.
You have to play with 4 Ghostbusters.
Yes, we looked at it during the practice game, and if you don't, you lose.
Yeah.
So there we go.
That's it, yeah.
And once you've chosen your Ghostbuster, you set your experience down to 0. It's very important you do that because you get abilities as you go through. Each Ghostbuster gets the 5 corresponding stream tokens, and they look like iced ring donut things, but they don't chew them.
So don't, yeah.
You then have to set up all the ghosts. There are 3 types of ghosts, 3 classes of ghosts. You've got class 1, class 2, and a class 3. And as we go through, you'll see that they can combine together. So 2 1s make 2, 2 2s make a 3. Maths doesn't work, but don't worry about it. That's just how it goes. You also have to place Ecto 1, and then you also have to place down the PKE meter and the otherworld tile. And this is like a timer for the game. If you ever run out of ghosts in the other world, you lose.
Yep.
And the way you win is usually by closing all the gates.
Yes.
But there are some specific
which will come on.
Yeah, victory conditions. Each Ghostbuster has 2 actions unless they've been slimed, in which case they'll take one of these tokens and it's -1 action. If you ever get to a point where you've got enough slime tokens that you cannot perform any action, so you're at 0 actions, the only action you can perform is to remove slime, which removes 1 of those tokens, so that next turn you can perform 1 action. You cannot remove slime from yourself if you have an action. It's very important to remember.
Yep.
So it also means you normally want to stand around with your mates to make sure they're close. If you have actions to spend, you can either move, so for example you can move 1 or 2 spaces. You can drive the Ecto 1 up to 6 spaces. Ecto 1 cannot go diagonally, so you need to bear that in mind. 6 sounds like a lot until you realise you can't move diagonally.
You can move like that.
You can deposit ghosts into Ecto 1 if you are adjacent to it. You can remove slime from adjacent Ghostbuster, and you can do combat. Now, combat works by you shoot a ghost that will be within range. The term just is range. Range is defined as
3 squares.
3 squares. So here, Spengler would be 1, 2, 3. He would be out of range. He would need to be here in order to be in range of this class 1 ghost. If he was in range, he would simply take 1 die, he would roll it, and then he would compare it to the ghost's card here. So the class 1 card says to hit, needs a 3 or higher. So I would have hit the ghost. It then tells you when it's hit, see when trapped. When trapped, each Ghostbuster adjacent to this galloping ghoul gets slimed. Then place it on your character card. So here, it would slime all the Ghostbusters there, but luckily I'm not stood next to it. I would then take it, put it onto my character card. Each time you successfully put enough beams onto the ghost in order to trap it, you then put it onto your character card. Once you do that, you get a number of experience points equal to the number of your beam tokens on that ghost. So if someone else has a beam token on there, then they will also get experience. The thing to remember though is you lose the beam tokens on any ghost that goes out of range or line of sight.
Or line of sight, yeah.
So if it runs away from you in the wrong direction, or if it goes behind a wall, suddenly your beam can't track it and it comes off. Not a problem for the class 1s, but definitely a problem for the class 3s if you're ever trying to take those out. Now, you'll see more about how each ghost reacts as we play.
Okay.
Other than that, there are 2 manoeuvres that each Ghostbuster can perform for free, but you may only perform one of them per turn. That is, you can either transfer ghosts to the Ecto-1, which will put the ghosts from all the ghosts, or up to the amount you want, from your character card back into the spirit world, thus adding more time to the game. And the other is to enter or leave Ecto-1. So clearly you can't jump in, drive it, and jump out again, as I did in our practice game, because I was just driving around having fun. There are 3 types of dice that come with the game. You've got the basic D6s, where the 6 has been replaced with a Ghostbuster symbol. It's important to remember games companies always replace the 6, not the 1, because we like to see the symbol for good reasons. That's Games Workshop, we're talking to you. So these are used when you need to make any die roll, so to hit and so on. We have the 8-sided die, the D8, for the
PKE.
I'm not going to get it right, so Nick's going to have to say it. PKE meter, so randomising the movements and so on of the ghosts. And now you have the Chaos die.
Chaos die.
And it matches all of the symbols for the gates. And the gates have random abilities in different campaigns. We're not going to go over each one. But if you ever need to randomise a gate, you simply roll that die. And at the end of every turn, we roll it to see if bad things happen.
And anyone in the comments, explain the reference will be brilliant. Where does the symbol reference come from in Ghostbusters?
We'll have a little mini prize.
The first person
who can tell us. It won't be good. It'll be a crisp high five over the internet. So, time for the review, and it's going to be out of the 3 Ps, purchase, play or pass, and then we'll move on to our geek rating out of 6. So let's start with Nick.
So I would
play or pass.
Purchase, play or pass. Well, I'll say purchase because it's my copy of the game.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right, and so Rob?
I'd say play because he already owns it, so yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I'm on play on this one, only just though. There's not many games I'll pass on. This is not my favourite, but I'll play it.
I am hovering between purchase and play because I do like Ghostbusters and I think the game plays well enough, but I think I'll go with play on the basis that you own it. But I think it's one of those things, if you didn't own it and you like Ghostbusters, it's going to be a probable purchase. So,
absolutely, that's why I bought it.
Yeah. So once someone's got it though, I think it's a definite play. So,
yeah.
So, out of 6 geeks, you can have half geeks as well.
Half geeks.
Yeah, they're like baby
Thank
geeks.
you.
It's alright.
Well, I would go with probably 5. It's not my favourite. I bought it. I really like playing it. But there's other games out there I like probably a bit more. But I think it's a solid game.
I'd go 4.5. It's a good game, especially when you get onto the higher levels, because it really ramps and becomes extremely difficult towards the later ones.
So it's maybe an issue of the fact I've only played the first scenarios, but it seems like way too easy for me. I'm gonna go with a 3. I'm gonna be the Simon Cowell of this particular review.
That's fine.
Well, you said it, not me, but your trousers are quite high.
You just have to take his word for it.
You're right. It is easy to start with.
Yeah, it's quite a light co-op. It doesn't really stand out for me as the main thing. I mean, what really saves it is a theme, because Ghostbusters theme is great. Cryptozoic's good at this. They get good IPs and they do a good production job on them. It brings it out a little bit. But as far as the actual game goes, there's a lot more. I'm not the biggest fan of co-ops, and there's quite a few I'd play over this still.
I'm going to do one of my annoying split reviews. If you like Ghostbusters, I think it's a 5.5. I think it's just flat out, you'll enjoy it because it's a co-op, it means that you're all working together, so there's no element of being sort of shanked over by your mates. You just enjoy the experience. It is very easy to start with, but it does get pretty tricky as you go through. The experience meters work really well. You feel like you're making progress even if you're having a bad game. And I think the quality of the models is so good and brings the theme through so well that if you like Ghostbusters, it is a surefire thing pretty much. If you're not into Ghostbusters, I'm going to give it a 3 because I think it's just 50-50. It's a fun game, but there are other co-op games that do it better, and there are other themes that people will like. So I think if it's just a random game, you sit down, you go, oh yeah, it's fun, but
Yeah.
I think
It'll be interesting to see when the expansions come out and you can play the female Ghostbusters and the classic Ghostbusters.
Well, it's a whole new, brand new game. There's a Ghostbusters 2 game coming. It's just finished kickstarting, and yeah, there's more choice. They've sort of tweaked the rules a bit more. So there's a whole,
they've got some extra mechanics about the slime guns.
Yeah,
and stuff
so there's slime guns. So there's new mechanics in it. Yeah.
I'm guessing it'll kick you up the bum a bit more as well.
Because again, if you played the first one, you'd probably be buying the second one. I kickstarted the second one, so watch this space.
But you do get, in the base game, you get 3 bosses.
Yeah.
So you get Slimer, you get the
what's his
blue guy who's
blue guy.
disappeared.
Indula, I think his name is how I pronounce it.
We'll let him jump on that grenade.
Yeah.
And you get the classic Stay Puft.
So in terms of talking about the ramping, to catch the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, you need 10 streams on it from 4 Ghostbusters. So the first scenario we were playing, most of them, of course, it's one Ghostbuster can do it all, but all of you got to shoot it in 10 streams. That's a lot more difficult, especially when the ghosts start moving around. Even Slimer, which is the end boss of the first scenario, requires, let me just check, 4 streams from 2 Ghostbusters. So again, it makes it a bit more difficult.
And if you
at the
haven't
top
ramped
end.
up, I think it's Venkman, so that you can get extra range for what's considered line of sight, you've got to be within 3 squares.
All the time.
And then the moment it moves out of your line of sight, you lose those streams. So
Yeah.
it can become really hard, especially if you're not doing well and getting all of that XP.
So and as you said, there's more scenarios to it. So we've just played the first one. There's basically 4 scenarios in total. Stay Puft being the end, the end of the. 3 scenarios. Stay Puft being the end of the third one. But there are also quick scenarios as well, where you start at different XP level, and it's just basically playing the boss. So there's a lot of scope and replayability for each set of scenarios.
Yeah. Brilliant. Well, if you're missing your geek, you know where to find us. Bye.
Bye.
Alan's out somewhere else. So, let's... Oh. Look at the camera! I see clearly now the display has gone. Right, anyway, sorry. I can not put that in, that's fine. That's why we don't live stream.
Yeah.
That's going in now. A duet, that's going in.
Oh